Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining me once again. Great to be with you. And as I record this, ACT has just gone into another 4 weeks of lockdown. So, wow, what challenging times we find ourselves in. But anyway, here we are in the midst of life and times that are unprecedented, and yet God is in control. Today, I just wanted to share some thoughts out of Proverbs 17, verse 28. And it says this: "Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his peace, and when he shuts his lips, he is considered perceptive." So my question to you today is, do you want to be considered perceptive and wise, as the scripture tells us? That another translator puts it this way: when a person shuts their lips, they are demonstrating an excellent spirit. And the Passion Translation says this: "Even when a fool bites his tongue, he's considered wise. So shut your mouth when you are provoked, and it will make you look smart." I kind of like the simplicity of this truth, that all we have to do to appear smart is to keep quiet. And I think that's a pretty good life adage. Stephen Covey, in his famous best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he says that we should first seek to understand before we are actually understood. The implication of that being is we need to listen to other people before we put our perspective or our opinion or our viewpoint forward. And one of the things that has struck me of late is that a lot of people have a lot of opinions about things that they know very little about. It's almost an epidemic kind of thing in society, and obviously with vaccination challenges and questions and around all of that, a lot of people have a lot of opinions, but maybe they're not that well informed. And so when I start to overlay scripture into the society that we find ourselves, we come up with this sense that, you know what, it's probably better to be quiet than actually have opinions about things. And I think one of the challenges that we find in culture today is the whole concept of the cancel culture, is that you can put forward an opinion and be cancelled and written off, and our conversation is stifled in such a traumatic and aggressive kind of way, that this truth of wisdom and perception coming from when we remain silent is probably even more pertinent and true and real today than it has ever been. John Tyson, in his book A Beautiful Resistance, John Tyson is an Australian who went and planted churches in New York City and is doing really well over there. He says the toxic power of contempt lies in its devaluation of others. And that when we think about that in the concept of cancel culture, that when we there's a contempt that seems to be swirling around at the moment, that means that we actually devalue others and we don't want to hear what they have to say. An increasingly ideological driven contempt to the societal norms that have guided our civilization for millennia is getting even stronger and more aggressive, and it makes it there are certain arguments that we're never going to be able to win. But the thing about it is that we value people when we listen to them. We honor people when we listen to them. And it shows that we are interested in them and who they are and the value that they bring. And I'm reminded of the Old Testament character Job, who had these friends who had some pretty strong opinions about how he should be responding and doing life. And Job desperately wanted to be listened to, valued, and honored by his friends, but instead they gave him advice and they told him he should be doing this, that, and the other. And the telling scripture is Job 13:5, where he makes this statement towards his friends. He says, "If only you could be silent, that's the wisest thing you could do." And so maybe we could ask ourselves the question today: where could our silence in matters that we seem to want to speak out about, where could our silence be considered perceptive and wise? Maybe worth considering. God bless you. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.